Gyokuro versus Sencha health benefits is a comparison a lot of people make. While both of these teas are healthy, they are very different when it comes to their content of caffeine, theanine, and catechins. In this video, we're going to see what makes these two teas different and how these differences can lead to the disparity in Gyokuro versus Sencha health benefits. Before we get started, it would really mean a lot to us if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for future tea videos. We have hundreds of videos on all sorts of topics related to Japanese green tea, but for this episode, we're going to focus on Gyokuro and Sencha specifically. Without further ado, let's get started. So what is Gyokuro tea? Before we talk about the health benefits of Gyokuro and Sencha, let's first define each of these teas. Gyokuro is one of the most sought-after leaf teas in Japan. Gyokuro has become famous for its unique, sweet and savory flavor, which can only be developed through a long and careful production process. First, the tea plants are cut off from sunlight for 3 weeks before the harvest. This prevents the tea plant from converting sweet and savory theanine into more bitter catechins. The longer a tea plant is shaded, the more it captures this smooth and sweet flavor profile. Once the shading process is over, the top leaves of the tea plant are selected as these are the highest in nutrients and the sweetest in taste. Once the leaves have been harvested, they are gathered up to be steamed, rolled, and dried. It's easy to identify Gyokuro tea because the leaves are rolled into these tight pine needle shapes and they take on a much darker color. So what is Sencha tea then? While Gyokuro is the most sought after leaf tea in Japan, Sencha tea is the most popular. It's produced in a similar way, but there are a few differences that lead to the disparity between Gyokuro versus Sencha health benefits. First of all, not all Senchas are shaded prior to the harvest. Sometimes a farmer will shade a Sencha tea for about a week before the harvest in order to smooth out the flavor a little bit. This is nothing compared to the 3-week shading process for Gyokuro, which makes the cultivation of these two teas quite different. Sencha also tends to be made from the top 3 leaves of the tea plant, which makes the two teas similar. Sencha teas can also be steamed for a longer time, which wouldn't be attempted for Gyokuro. This longer steaming process breaks down the tea leaf, allowing more of it to flow into the cup. This is why Fukumushi Sencha teas have this intense green color and powerful flavor. This longer steaming process makes the tea leaves more brittle and therefore they are more likely to break into these smaller leaf particles. Let's talk about caffeine. One factor that makes the Gyokuro versus Sencha health benefits different is the caffeine content. Gyokuro contains somewhere between 120 to 140 milligrams of caffeine per cup, while Sencha can contain half that. The reason why Gyokuro is so high in caffeine compared to a regular tea like Sencha is because of its long shading process. The tea plant produces caffeine as a defense mechanism to protect against insects, and when the tea plant is shaded, it usually produces more because the shading process is a stressful time for the tea plant. This is why long shaded teas like Gyokuro, Matcha, and Kaboseicha tend to be the highest in caffeine. What about the theanine in the teas? Another difference in the Gyokuro versus Sencha health benefits is theanine. In addition to affecting the caffeine content, the shading process also influences the theanine in the tea. As we mentioned before, when the tea plant is cut off from sunlight, it produces less of these bitter catechins and retains more of its sweet and savory theanine. But what is theanine? Theanine, or L-theanine in the case of tea, is an amino acid that can induce a calming effect on the brain. This is why you don't get the same jittery feeling or crash with green teas as you do with coffee. The L-theanine can slow the absorption of caffeine and give you a longer lasting energy throughout the day. L-theanine can also influence alpha brainwave activity, the same brainwave stimulated during long periods of meditation. This is why the original consumers of green tea in Japan were the monks, who found it improved their concentration during meditation. As Gyokuro is a longer shaded tea, in addition to having more caffeine, it will also have more theanine compared to an unshaded tea like Sencha. What about the catechins in the two teas? When it comes to the health benefits of Gyokuro and Sencha, there is one arena where Sencha has the edge, and that is the catechins. This has 2 benefits when it comes to weight loss and immune support. Let's discuss both of these, as well as a few studies to back up the claims. First, weight loss. When it comes to comparing Gyokuro versus Sencha health benefits, one of the things most people are interested in is weight loss. While drinking green tea is no substitute for a healthy diet and exercise, there have been some promising results in studies on the efficacy of green tea for weight loss. There is a 2018 study where subjects were given green tea before going out on a 30-minute walk. The group given green tea showed enhanced fat oxidation during their walk when compared to the placebo group, which might lead to better overall weight loss. What about drinking green tea for the cold and flu? Another thing people often look for when comparing the health benefits of teas is cold and flu prevention. This is another factor that can be helped by the catechins within green tea. If this is indeed the case, unshaded Sencha teas would have an advantage over Gyokuro. One study compared 2 groups of healthcare workers. One of the healthcare worker groups was given a green tea catechin and theanine supplement, and the other group was given a placebo. The study found that the group that took the green tea supplement was 3 times less likely to come down with the flu compared to the group that took the placebo. This would suggest that the catechins in green tea might be able to help avoid getting sick with the flu at all. When it comes to comparing Gyokuro versus Sencha health benefits, both teas have their strengths and weaknesses. It seems silly to discriminate when both these teas are healthy and delicious. We recommend you try both of these incredible Japanese green teas and see which one you prefer. If you're looking to get started in the world of Sencha tea, we recommend you go for the Fukumushi Yamaga. This is our most loved Sencha, and it's a deep steam tea from Shizuoka. This tea takes on a vibrant green color, a smooth yet powerful flavor, and it even has some notes of lychee berry, particularly when you cold brew it. If you're looking for a good Gyokuro to try, you can go for the Cha Musume. This tea is the most popular Gyokuro produced by the legendary Mr. Sakamoto in Shibushi. This tea is made from the Yabukita cultivar, and it has a direct umami flavor, a pleasant sweetness, and this distinct floral note, which is quite enjoyable. When you order tea from us, you're not only helping to support this channel, but you're also helping us to support the dozens of talented farmers we work with all around Japan. We hope that by sharing these farmers' stories and their teas with people all around the world, we can help to transition the tea industry into a more positive, sustainable direction. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you have any questions about teas, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Until then, we'll see you next time.